It's a word with a numbers case that you do not find in the English language. Okay? Or rarely find. It's like the word, people. Right? The word people can be, it's a group word, right? But it's treated as a singular. So, in that sense. This is Elohim. Okay, is a word that is male, female, and it also implies a unity within multiplicity. It's a very complex word. Okay? And it's not a Jewish word, it's a Canaanic word, quite complex. That's why the Apostle is saying, the Bible says, and God said, let us make man in our own likeness. And man was made in likeness, male, female, meaning that the word for God was Elohim. It's not the only word for God that occurs in the original version of, in the original language. You see? And there's no word that it could be translated into English or Spanish or French. There are no such words like Elohim. That's why the biblical scholars have a hard time explaining why this one supreme being says, let us. But you see, the Elohim, the Apostle is saying, are a multiplicity of yin-yang, male, female, positive, negative, forces acting in harmony with the will of the one supreme intelligence. And man is made in the likeness of this supreme being. You see? Meaning that man has the same kinds of power, the same kind of spiritual organization of the Supreme Being. Not the same amount of power, but the same kinds of power. And that's only fitting because they don't have the same responsibility as the Supreme Being. There's no difference than a drop of water compared to the ocean of water. Same qualities, same properties. But like I said before, you cannot take a bath in a drop of water. Is it? But it's the same property. It's important for you to understand that you and God, are the same kind of being. You have the same kinds of power. Not the same amount of it, but then you're going to have the same amount of troubles and responsibilities. Is it? We are born with that divinity in a latent state. Is it? Have we been living in Kemet still? Have the African original doctrine, had it not been interrupted? And that's all that's happened, it's been interrupted. That's all that's happened. Had it not been interrupted, we would have gone through rites of passage. We would have gone through an education, and we would have come into a society where family, economics, politics, education, language, everything would have been structured to convey to us our divinity, the knowledge of our divinity, and would have led us to the awakening and development of our divinity. But in places that we landed in hell. For those of you who don't know where hell is or what it is, look around now. There's a statement said that the devil has something by the throat, they will not know the devil. So that's the one solution. That's what we mean by the monotheism. A way of life that is Unitarian. A way of life that is based on the understanding that the one preventive measure, the one solution is for each and every human being to be brought up in a society where all the elements of the society, work together to lead that person to the development of their divinity. Because if everything is moving you to your divine nature, then you will be less open. There will be no room, no place for you to succumb to what is evil. You see? And if you understand even the Western theory of psychology, they admit that you are born with enough malleability, with enough receptivity, with enough plasticity to be molded into, you with me, such a being. It's a function of their not knowing and not wanting. Understand that? Right. They don't know it, and if they knew it, they wouldn't want it. You see? Give as much, give the minimum of time that you need to give to make it in a man's world. But reserve the best and the most of your time to making your own world according to your own understanding and vision of life. Cannot go through life seeking to continue his dream of madness and ignorance and immaturity. Because many of you think that making it is making sure you get the PhD and so he can maintain his system. You know what I mean? Come on now. Dream your own dream. Open your own eyes and look at the world through the left eye, which sees from the right side of the brain. So religion is not a practice of, praising God and begging God. That's not religion. Religion is a process of you doing certain exercises